Hey, Phil, are you there? I hate to tell you this, but I might not be able to make it home tonight.
Excuse me, you going to be late again? Or are you saying you're not coming home at all? You're staying overnight somewhere?
Yeah, well, it's not decided yet, but the possibility of not coming home at all is pretty certain.
Really? Didn't your company put out some policy for this winter? It's supposed to get bad today, so unless you're on the night shift, all employees are supposed to leave early because there might be transportation delays or something. Wasn't that what they announced last week?
Yeah, that's what they said, all right, and I was all ready to leave when we got a call from one of our major clients. Apparently they encountered some serious system trouble on their main operating system. The weather is getting bad, but I can't just leave this and go home. We're talking about a major client. We really have to handle it tonight.
Yeah, I suppose it comes with the job, huh? Being a system engineer can get pretty hectic. They're always turning to you when there's even a tiny glitch. Anyway, this isn't the first time. Remember the one last year?
How can I forget that? That was during the big hurricane, wasn't it? That was pretty bad. But this time at least I don't have to go on site. I can do this all remote, but the only problem is I have no idea when this can be solved. We tried several solutions, but it rejected them all. Really not sure what the problem is. Worst case scenario, it may take all night. If, by chance, we find a solution, I can get home, but if not, I may have to stay all night. I'm really sorry about this, Phil. I hope you understand.
No problem. Just don't overdo it or anything. Rest when you can.
Thanks. Oh, yeah. I hate to ask, but could you dump a cup of detergent in the washing machine and switch it on? It's ready to go.
Huh? You want me to do the laundry? You know the dryer's on the blink. Can't hang it out to dry in this weather. Why bother?
Yeah, but just having it washed and ready to dry will save me a lot of time later. I've got to do it any chance I get, or it will just pile up before you know it.
Right. Okay, no problem.
Oh, and could you throw in the kitchen towels and the apron in there too? I forgot to throw those in this morning.
Do we even have an apron? I can't remember using it.
Yeah, I bought it because I'm always on the run, as you know. Didn't want to dirty up my suit in the morning. It saved me the other morning, actually. Splashed egg all over it. I left it on the kitchen table. Forgot to drop it in the washing machine this morning. It's bright blue. I can't miss it.
Oh, okay. I'll check and see later on.
You're doing remote work all day today, right? No change in schedule? You don't have to meet a client later or anything, right?
Yep, that's right. As a matter of fact, I was in the middle of something just now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I thought you were on your lunch break. I'm sorry if I interrupted.
Don't worry about it. After I finish this up, I'm done for the day, so no problem.
Oh, okay, great. So you got the evening free then? All right then. I better be getting back to work. Gotta figure this thing out. If I'm lucky, I can get this done tonight. Wish me luck.
All right, good luck.
Hey, Phil, are you there? Please reply if you're seeing this. I thought you were home. You said you weren't going anywhere. It's a snowstorm out here. Where the hell did you run off to, for God's sake? Did you look outside? Have you taken a look in front of the house? Can't you see the snow piled up on the front walkway? Apparently snow slid off the roof. I got a call from Mrs. Barkley next door. You know, the old lady next door, right? Well, she told me that there was a woman buried in the pile of snow. Must have approached the house and the snowpack slid off the roof or something. It was apparently a pretty large pack of snow. Luckily, Mrs. Barkley called the ambulance right away because nobody was home at our place. It took a while for the ambulance to get there, but she said she seemed okay as far as she could tell. As for me, I'm still at the office. We solved that system error problem, but all transportation has been delayed. I have no way to get home because of this snow. I have no idea where you are, so I'm just relaying all this information. Just so you're aware, I can't believe you're not home, Phil. Where'd you go, for crying out loud? Contact me as soon as you see this message. I just hope you're not in trouble or anything. To be honest, I'm worried sick. Phil, are you there? Where the hell are you? I can't seem to get a reply from you. Are you even seeing this? I'm not even sure if you got back home or not. I don't see an icon on screen indicating you're seeing this. Do you even have the thing turned on? Or is your battery just dead and you can't charge it? What's going on, Phil? You're scaring me. I need a reply ASAP. We need to talk about what to do about that woman who was injured in front of our house. She's at the hospital over in Richmond. We can't just ignore her. She was injured on our property. We could get sued. So contact me right away after you see this. You do realize that you're in a real precarious situation here. I hope you're aware of that, Phil.
What the hell is this, Melanie? What's with this message? Sending me crap like this? Is this some kind of gag you're pulling? What's up with this? Making up some far-fetched mumbo-jumbo about you being taken away by an ambulance? What's with this play act and exaggeration? This is not even funny at all, Melanie. And even involving Mrs. Barkley? She's just a little old lady, for God's sake. How could you get her involved in your little prank? It's like you're showcasing your frustration to everybody in this neighborhood. Aren't you in the least bit embarrassed by this dumb little charade? And where were you taken? You said Richmond. Are you talking about the big one on 5th Street? I don't really care, to be honest. I don't plan on visiting you there anyways. I mean, seriously, why would I after what you pulled?
Huh? Pardon me? What are you saying? I'm still at the company. I really can't get out of this right now. I'm not sure I can get home right now.
Hold on a second. Pardon me?
And what the hell are you blabbering about? Phil, I'm really busy right now. I thought I explained it all to you.
But you just messaged me about you getting buried in front of our house and that you were taken to the hospital. What was that all about then?
Phil, are you even reading that message properly? Did you just glance at it? Sure sounds like it.
Huh? Wait a second. You're telling me I read it all wrong? I'm pretty sure...
Just read it over one more time, would you please? And this time, slowly, so that you understand the entire situation.
What is this, Melanie? Some woman was hauled off to the hospital from our house? Are you serious? It says she got buried in snow in front of our house. Are you kidding me? What the hell happened?
Come on, Phil. You did that, didn't you?
Huh? Excuse me?
What was that crap you said to me? You read that message from me all wrong. You thought it was me that got buried in snow, and you didn't give a hoot about me. You weren't even going to visit me at the hospital. Are you serious, Phil? Your outburst is all on record, so there's no use refuting any of it. You meant what you said. There is no denying the fact.
Yeah, well, I just misinterpreted the message is all. I didn't mean it. I was upset. What can I say?
Oh, really? Sure seemed like you meant it. Like I said, the line messages are left on record. There is no disavowing it now. I could even print it out if I wanted to. You want me to do that? Oh, yeah, and I just got a call from the hospital. They were finally able to identify that woman that was taken there.
What?
They said her name was Deborah Sinclair. Ring any bells? I wonder why she was at our home. Delivering something, perhaps? Or maybe visiting someone?
Hold on a second. Did you just say Deborah Sinclair? I mean, just want to confirm, you know.
That's right. Sure sounds like it rings a bell with you, Phil. On the other hand, I have no recollection of such a person. Who is this Deborah Sinclair? You know her, right? Who is she, Phil?
I'm not sure. I thought it was you.
Yeah, and? You thought it was me, so what?
Forget what I said. It's nothing.
It's kind of late to be saying any of that anyways.
Pardon me?
Phil, do you know how much time has passed since this Deborah was taken to the hospital? It was a pretty frantic situation that unfolded over there. All the neighbors were out, the ambulance blaring down the street. A couple of cop cars even showed up. In such a situation, don't you think they did a little background check regarding the whole thing? The cops aren't stupid, you know.
What are you trying to say? Come right out and say it, Melanie. You got my undivided attention. Give it a go then.
All right, if that's the way you want it, Phil. I know all about your little affair, Phil. That Deborah, she's your hot little babe, am I right?
Wait, what? How do you...
And you were seeing two separate girls. Really, Phil? I didn't realize you were such a low-life scumbag.
Oh, wait a second. Why do you even know all this?
Okay, you seem completely bewildered, so let me explain the whole thing to you, Phil. Once you found out I wasn't able to come home last night because of the system troubles we had at the client's place and the fact that the traffic was all disrupted due to the snow, you immediately contacted both Deborah and this other girl you're seeing. But apparently Deborah wasn't able to make it, so you decided to spend the day with your other lover. How am I doing so far, Phil? Did I miss anything? What I think you probably did was you decided to go and pick this girl up somewhere because of the snow. That left the house temporarily empty. But because you're so absent-minded and don't really think things through, or maybe it was you because you were so excited to see your lover. I don't know. Well, in your haste, you left the door unlocked.
Huh? I'm pretty sure I...
Then unexpectedly, Deborah decided to show up at the house. Was she there to surprise you? Or maybe she thought it over and decided she wanted to see her lover boy? Not sure. I guess when she arrived to find the front door open, she figured you were working inside and went in without calling out to you or bothering to knock. After all, you did tell her I wasn't coming home that night because of the snow. She went straight to the kitchen and put on my blue apron, the one I asked you to throw in the washing machine. Then she started cooking dinner for you, as if she were your wife.
Wait, let me explain, Melanie.
Then you came waltzing in with your other lover like nothing happened. You took one look in the kitchen and saw a woman standing there with a bright blue apron. You immediately thought it was me and thought your little love affair was exposed. In your panic-stricken way, you grabbed the woman, who you thought was me, from the kitchen and pushed her out the back kitchen door and onto the snow. You didn't even bother to check if the woman was me.
Are you telling me that woman I tossed out was Debbie?
Yep, that was Deborah. But you seem to prefer Debbie. You guys figured you couldn't very well have your fun and games with the wife at home, so you guys immediately left the house and locked the door on your way out. I have no idea where you guys went, but you were definitely with this other woman of yours, right?
Well, we were... Hey, what happened to Debbie?
I heard that when you tossed her out the door, she fell off the porch and broke her ankle. Apparently you told her, thinking it was me, of course, to stay in the snow to cool off or something to that effect. Debbie managed to make her way to the front door, but it was locked. When she tried to leave the house, she fell off the front porch and couldn't get up due to the severe pain in her ankle. It was really starting to snow about that time, and she gradually got covered in snow, and to make things worse, the snow piled on the roof slid off and buried her even further. She tried calling out, but snow really insulates sound. Did you know that? As you probably know, when it snows like that, there are hardly any people walking around in that kind of weather. It was just by chance that Mrs. Barkley was able to find her. It seems her dog ran off, and she was out looking for him and found him snuffing around in the pile of snow in our front yard. I don't want to think about what would have happened to her if she hadn't found her. Immediately, she called the ambulance and was taken away to the hospital. A neighbor also called the police because nobody recognized the girl as anybody from the neighborhood.
Oh, and how is she? I mean, is Debbie okay?
I was told it wasn't anything serious, just a broken ankle. She's recovering just fine, apparently.
Which hospital is she at? Where'd they take her?
Why do you want to know? Are you intending to go visit her? Visit your lover?
Huh? Well, I was just...
To be honest, I'm not at all concerned about your lover. I don't even know her. But to give out information about where she is hospitalized to the very person responsible for putting her in the hospital to begin with, that makes zero sense. So I'm sorry, Phil, I have no intention of telling you anything. Rather than worrying about your sweetheart, maybe you should start worrying about yourself.
Me? Why should I worry?
As I mentioned earlier, a neighbor contacted the police, and the whole thing kind of got a little more complicated.
What do you mean? How complicated?
Did you really think the police would just let this go? Don't you think they would have investigated this? A woman was injured, you know?
But the police, why involve the police?
They cleared me of any wrongdoing, but I don't know what the situation is right now. I think they're still continuing the investigation.
Wait a second, what are you saying? That I may be in trouble? What's going to happen to me? What do they want from me?
Don't ask me.
How could you say that, Melanie? I'm your husband. How could you be so cold and unconcerned? This could be serious, you know? You're being way too unsympathetic, Melanie. Where's your compassion?
Am I hearing you right, Phil? You're asking me to give you compassion? Seriously? The guy who has 2 lovers? The guy who's been cheating on me for God knows how long?
Yeah, well, it doesn't change the fact that you're my wife and you have a responsibility, a duty to your husband.
Sorry, Phil, that's not going to cut it. Just so you're aware, I'm already talking to my lawyer about a divorce, so...
Huh? Wait, a divorce? You want to get divorced? And why talk to a lawyer? You're really blowing this thing way out of proportion, Melanie.
You don't seem to get the point, Phil. Like I said, you're the one with 2 lovers. You're the one that's been 2-timing me. I don't want to hear any crap from a jerk who's been screwing around behind my back. You got that, buddy?
Yeah, well, it was just a fling. You're my main, my true love, Melanie. You know, I was just stressed out with work and all.
Pardon me, I'm your main, huh? Well, that makes me feel so special, thanks.
Yeah, what I mean is, I picked you as my wife. You were the best of...
Best of the lot? Like selecting a used car or something? When are you going to get tired of that and get a new one? And by selecting, are you saying you were already going out with the other 2 girls even before we were married? Maybe there was more than 2.
No, of course not.
Sure sounds like it, Phil. You picked me out of the 3. I wonder why. Is it because I make more than them?
No, what I'm saying is...
I think I'm officially getting pissed off. Before I really go over the edge, maybe it would be better if we continued further discussions regarding this issue through our lawyers.
Like I said, this whole thing about lawyers is going way too far. Let's just talk face to face. I'm sure we can work it out between us.
This coming from the guy that's been screwing around behind my back? My pissed off meter just went up a notch. I wouldn't push it any further, mister.
But I was just trying to...
Please don't try anymore. You'll really regret it, Phil. I would advise against it.
Huh?
Okay, Phil, that's all I've got to say. Goodbye. Have a good life, Phil. I really was about to explode during that line exchange. Glad I cut it off in time. I talked to my lawyer after that and started the process of getting all the papers ready for the divorce. I'm so glad the lawyer will take care of the rest and not have to see Phil any more than I have to. I'm scared I may even give him a fat lip. About a week or so later, my lawyer was able to collect all of the evidence of his infidelity and came up with the amount we would be demanding from him. I was surprised that he got it all done in such a short period of time. The house we were living in was in Phil's name, so I was the one that had to move out. As for Phil, the 2 women eventually learned that he was secretly seeing the both of them. When they found out, you can imagine the furious reaction that must have ensued. Deborah, the girl that got thrown out of the house and ended up in the hospital, is apparently pressing charges against him. The other woman is also suing him for damages. Apparently, he promised her he would get divorced and marry her. Phil kept calling me and sending long, desperate messages online, so I finally changed my phone number and line address. I really can't thank my lawyer enough for moving quickly with all this before it got completely out of control.